Okay, so in this video, I go on a massive rant. What started out as just a tier list ranking my Marvel Premiere Collection devolved into this massive vent session where I lose my mind. I basically lose my mind. I go crazy. So if you just want to see me rank my Marvel Premiere Collection, that'll be in the first half of the video. I will be sure to add timestamps to make that easy to navigate. Or if you just want to see me lose my shit, then I will link below a timestamp in the description so that you can just navigate to my meltdown and you can enjoy that. But either way, you know, if you support the Marvel Premiere Collection format, that's awesome. This is by no means a dig at you when I start talking about the format. These are just my own personal opinions, my own personal frustrations with the Marvel compacts, and I just try to vent those in this video, which was unintentional, but just somehow kind of worked. So that's what I'm gonna do. This is the warning. This is the PSA at the beginning. So hope you enjoy the video. What's up, everybody? So today I wanted to do a tier list for my Marvel Premiere Collection. I have 8 books in total that I have collected, and then at the end I will tell you why I stopped supporting the Marvel Premiere Collection format. And yeah, so these 8 titles, we're just going to run through them real quick. I'll tell you what they are. They're Captain America, Civil War, Hawkeye, Black Panther, Daredevil, Fantastic Four, Wolverine, and The Punisher. So these are the 8 titles that I will be ranking. It goes from S to D. S is like a must read, must own. A is a must read, maybe own. B is like a read it, but you definitely don't have to own it. C is like you definitely don't want to own it. Skip it if you want to, but you can read it. And D is like don't even waste your time. So don't buy, don't read. Some of these are going to sound harsh. This is just my personal opinion. These are my preferences. This is what I got from the Marvel Premiere Collection format. No titles after it. So that's just how I'm ranking it. So with that being said, let's jump right into the rankings. All right, so first up we have Captain America. I really liked the way this book started out. There was good build-up. It seemed exciting. I was getting invested. But then, you know, the lack of action-packed fight scenes. Anytime you saw Captain America fighting, he was like fighting henchmen or like nobodies. And then when he did fight somebody, I believe it was it Crossbones? God, I forget his name. But he got, you know, his ass handed to him. And it just, I don't know. It took me out of it. There was supposed to be a big climactic battle between him and the Winter Soldier. And the battle just felt lackluster, and it left me wanting more, but not in a good way. I felt like it was just incomplete, like I wasn't satisfied with their brief clash at the very end of the book. So with this, we're giving Captain America a D. Next up, we have Civil War. With this one, if you saw my review, you know I raved about it. I absolutely loved this. I thought the pacing was good. I thought the art was good. There was plenty of action. It really kept me going. It was a page turner. I really enjoyed it. It is one of the few rare successes of the Marvel Premiere Collection line, especially early on. So with this one, it was a no-brainer. I put it at the S category. Next, we have Hawkeye. Man, what a fantastic story. What a great read. It was fun to read. It was like not just the storyline itself, but the way it was laid out and the panels and the way that everything just kind of came together. Like the reading experience itself was very enjoyable. It's just a shame that they decided to end this one right in the middle of the story. And then you get no word about whether or not a volume 2 is going to be released. It's a complete oddity to me. I don't understand. Marvel has gold right in their hands and then they just chunk it. It makes no sense to me. It's a real missed opportunity. It's a failed project in my opinion. And I think that Hawkeye would have easily been S tier. And I can't believe they fumbled the ball this hard with this. So, with all that being said, it was still enjoyable enough, and the art was fun. I gotta give it a C tier. So, you know, read it. You don't have to own it, but check it out for sure. Honestly, your best bet would probably be to be collecting it either in the trade paperbacks or an omnibus, or you could read it on Marvel Unlimited. But with this one, I would say skip the Marvel Premiere Collection format altogether. Next up, we have Black Panther. And this one, man, it reminded me a lot of Captain America. So I think we obviously know where I'm going with this one, but I just want to explain a little bit about why. You get great buildup, just like in Captain America. The fight scene that's supposed to be the climactic battle is so unbelievably boring and lackluster. I feel like I wasted my time even starting the journey of reading this book, because you get, I think, 3 or 4 panels. That's it. And it's on 1 or 2 pages of this final fight, this big epic battle where T'Challa fights the main bad guy, and it goes so quick, and it is such a lame ending to this climactic battle that it really dropped it for me. It took me out of it. The art was good. I did enjoy the art. The build-up was good, but this one was so disappointing that I felt robbed having read it. I was like, not only did I walk away not satisfied and not fulfilled with how I had spent my time, but I felt so disappointed that I even gave it a chance in the first place. I wanted to like this. There were elements there that made it feel like it was going to be a great book. All they had to do was stick the landing, and they failed. This one goes in the D tier. Daredevil. Honestly, this is one of the books I thought I would like the least, because it's one of the older comics, and I'm not a fan of like the old school art style or the colors or the big giant walls of text. Let me tell you, boy was I proven wrong on this one. The story was great. It was captivating. You had some real raw moments, some pretty heavy tones. It was so good. I thought that they really nailed it with this one. I was pleasantly surprised and very impressed when it came to this. Other than the giant walls of text on certain pages, this thing was phenomenal. I enjoyed it. I thought the action was good. You got fight sequences that were really, really good. And you didn't have to wait till the very end of the book to start getting them. There is big battles towards the end, but there's also other action scenes peppered throughout that just made it so worth it. So this one goes in the A tier. Next up, probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite, of the Marvel Premiere Collection line that I have so far, the Fantastic Four. Obviously, just judging from how I introduced it, you know where this one's going. The art was amazing. The story was amazing. There was good pacing. There was good action. It was a roller coaster of emotions. There was excitement. There was fear. There was happiness, sadness. It had everything. It ran the gambit. It was so good. I thought the characters were well done. I thought the art was well done. The action, everything. I really, really enjoyed this one. It was a no-brainer. This is a must-read, must-own. I put it in the S tier. Now, I know some people who have read it in previous formats that were like the omnibus or the hardcover, apparently certain things were taken out of the Fantastic Four storyline for the Marvel Premiere Collection format, but this was my first introduction to the story itself. And with that being said, for my first introduction into it, I really, really enjoyed it because I didn't know about the things that I was possibly missing. So, fantastic. No pun intended. This one gets S tier. Next up, we have Wolverine. One of my favorite characters. I was really expecting to like this one. I heard a lot of people loved it. They rave about this particular title. It just didn't hit with me. I thought Wolverine as the main character kind of took a back seat for most of his own story. It wasn't until the very end that you really see him shine in his own book. And Old Man Hawkeye was the one who really carried the majority of this book. That being said, the art was amazing. And then when Wolverine did get a chance to shine, so good. It was peak. That's when it was literally firing on all cylinders, and it felt phenomenal. It was amazing. If only we had gotten more of that. So because I feel like the majority of the book is spent either with other characters and him just taking a back seat and not being as pivotal in his own comic book as I would have liked him, I got to give this one C tier. It was good. Definitely read it. Check it out. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But if I had to go back and do it over again, I definitely wouldn't buy it. Finally, we have The Punisher. So this one was surprisingly very fun to read. It wasn't really as graphic and as violent as I had hoped it would be, especially for a character like the Punisher. So I was a little bit bummed there, but honestly, everything else pretty much stuck the landing for me. The art, it was fine. It wasn't my favorite art, but it wasn't bad art where it took me out of the story and I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was good. It was just good. Everything about it was good. It was good comedy, but sometimes the comedy was a little heavy handed, and sometimes it actually interfered with certain serious parts of the story. I actually have a review that I'm doing about The Punisher, and I will be posting that later, and you can check that out. So, yeah, this one, it was good. It was fun. I enjoyed it, but nothing really stood out to me. So I put this one in the B tier because everything as a whole, it was a fun story. The action was fun. The art was fun. Everything about it was just, slightly above average. So I had to give it the B tier. So yeah, like I said, I will have a Punisher review coming out soon where I go over more in depth that particular title. But that is going to be my last title that I will review for the Marvel Premiere Collection format because I just did not enjoy this format. I wanted to. It had everything that, really drew me to it was, the size of it. It was a smaller copy, the paper print, the smell, the ink, everything. It was a good format, but it's just not getting the love and attention that it deserves. There needs to be either better storylines that are adapted into the Marvel Premiere Collection, or they need to go ahead and start adding multiple volumes of storylines that they already have. Like I gave the example with Hawkeye. What a fantastic story. But to have me buy a volume 1 in one format and then never give it the final volume 2 that completes the story run for Matt Fraction is absolutely criminal. You're telling me that you want me to go buy volume 1 in a particular format for that format to never be supported past the initial volume, and then you want me to buy just an odd couple of paperbacks, or you want me to re-buy the first volume in an omnibus? No way. What a ripoff. What a jip. If you look at the ranking list, over half of these titles are in the C or D tier. That's crazy. It's insane to me. You have 8 titles. These were the first 8 that they had published. Half of your run is skippable in my opinion, if not downright atrocious for adapting it as your entry level launch line. It's crazy. Tell me anywhere in here out of the first 8 titles, do you see a Spider-Man comic? A Hulk comic, a Thor comic? These are some of the biggest and most well-known characters in the Marvel comic universe. I'm not talking about the MCU where they made people famous like Iron Man and Captain America and, all these other characters that, believe me, when there were comics, they were like B and C tier characters. They weren't getting the sales, they weren't getting the love. But you don't have a Spider-Man in this list. That didn't come out until this year, in July. You don't have a Hulk in this list because that came out in what, May? I don't even remember. I lost track because I quit supporting the line because I thought, what even is it? What even is it? I've heard someone try to debate with me that it is just an introduction into the line. Okay, you've introduced me into the line, but now you're telling me to abandon the format. No longer read these titles because this is just a taste test. This is a teaser for the main course. Don't even worry about it. You can just spend a little bit of money and see if you like this somewhere else. Why? I like the format. I like the collection. I like the size of it. You know what? Honestly, I think it could have been smaller. It could have been like the DC Compact comics. It could have been smaller like manga size, because that's who I think it's targeted towards, is new readers and manga readers. It's crazy to me that they introduce a format that I take interest in, but they're not willing to support that format by adapting completed runs or extra volumes to the series. It blows my mind. It seems so backwards. You try to hook me on one thing, but I don't want to buy a trade paperback. I don't want to buy this character in an omnibus. I want to collect it in this format. And the cost, it's even $5 more than a compact comic. It's so crazy, I think even Marvel is abandoning this compact line. They've released a new line that they're, I guess, going to start supporting. It launched with the Spider-Man Brand New Day comic. It is the exact same size as a DC compact comic. It is the exact same price as a DC compact comic. What are we going to do with the Premiere line? After this year, are they going to announce any more releases coming out for it? Honestly, I hope not. If they're just using it as something to push comic sales in a different direction outside of format that you actually enjoyed, then it's useless. There's no point in it. If I want to taste test a comic, I'll get the digital app. I'll read it on Marvel Unlimited. It makes no sense to me. Why would I own something as a collector to collect it if you're not going to support it? Hawkeye, second volume, no mention of it. Add it. It's crazy. That's insane to me. As a manga collector, I would go on long runs. I talked about this with another viewer in a previous video. What if Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run was released in a compact format? That's a day one buy for me. Some people will say no. Some people will say that's crazy. You could have like 15, 20 plus books of just one title, but it covers the whole run. That is an easy, no-brainer purchase for me. I mean, up here, we've got My Hero Academia. There is 42 books. 42 books in the run. And that's not even the biggest run that I have a collection for. I've got Naruto. I've got Bleach. It's insane to me that people don't think that this is a format that should be more than just a one-and-done volume. If you want it to be that, then adapt a storyline that can be completed in one volume. Give me characters who have stories that are good with one volume, a one-and-done. DC can do it. All-Star Superman, perfect example. 10 out of 10. I got the full run. I got the complete experience. And it made me fall in love with the character, which in turn makes me feel like I want to continue reading DC Comics. Not just in the compact format, but I want to go ahead and get the Infinite app. I want to check out so many storylines. It's crazy. It has done so much better at hooking new readers and keeping them addicted to their comics just through that format. From the price, to the way that they release it, to the love and dedication they put with each character that they're putting into this line. People have argued that they also have uncompleted storylines in their run. Nightwing was an example. I get that. But does it complete an arc? Like a trade paperback sometimes will, when you get 1 through 6 issues, or you get 2 paperbacks that's 1 through 10 or 1 through 12, and you get a complete story arc in that line. The perfect example of that is Batman, The Court of Owls. That is just the start of what is the continuation of the new 52 Batman. But when I read The Court of Owls, I feel like I got a complete storyline. It's crazy how people can debate against this. It blows my mind. It makes no sense at all. The Marvel Premiere Collection, in my eyes, has been a failure. It's just too hit or miss. I don't even think they know what they're doing. They seem to just be throwing darts at a wall and hoping something hits because they have no clue what the people want. We want affordable comics. We want it in a format that you're going to support. And we would love continued runs. I don't care if a storyline is going to come out with 12 compact titles. If the storyline is good, I'm buying all 12, brother. It just makes sense from not only a reader standpoint, but you would think from a business standpoint as well. Some people don't want to collect trade paperbacks. Or let's say it like this. You have a trade paperback, which is the size of a comic, but it's got those glossy pages. Well, maybe you don't like that glossy page look, and you want that paper quality. That's why you would buy something like a Marvel Premiere Collection, or a DC Compact comic. Maybe you're a manga reader. You have no desire to buy these big tomes, these omnibuses that are just chunky monsters. Maybe they're uncomfortable to read. Maybe you don't have space for it. Maybe you're a reader on the go. Can you imagine lugging around a fucking brick and trying to crack it open and read on a bus, on a train, on your lunch break, at your job, at school? It's crazy to me how people think that because you can pass this off as like a line that's supposed to be an introduction into the thing, that you can throw away all of its flaws. I think the Marvel Premiere Collection did a terrible job at capturing new readers. In fact, I think it did the exact opposite. I think it deterred people from wanting to pick up these comics. And not only that, from actually keeping consistent viewership for people who are wanting to read Marvel compacts and Marvel comics in the long run. It's crazy. And then they released the Marvel compact title of Spider-Man, their best-selling superhero. And you know what you get? A collection of short stories from the Brand New Day era. You don't even get a complete storyline. In fact, you're teased. You're strung along while you read that because it's giving you an overarching story that doesn't go anywhere. You'll never know unless you, I guess, buy it in a different format, which is my entire problem with these Marvel compacts. They make no sense to me. They make no sense to me. That needs to change. If they are going to be successful, if they are going to stand a chance with retaining readers, then you have to be willing to support that format long term for readers who want to collect full storylines. I don't care what people say. I don't care the pushback I get. I don't care people on the other aisle who are like, well, you don't get it. You don't understand what it's for. You know, you don't realize why. No. In fact, I'm dialed in, brother. I'm so locked into what people want from these formats that I think it would be a boon to these companies to just go ahead, adapt these titles. They're very successful. They've got storylines that are great storylines. Just release the rest of them, brother. And then for Marvel Premiere Collection to not release some of their biggest heroes right out of the gate with their launch titles. Who's making these decisions? No Spider-Man, no Hulk, no Thor. You don't even have an Iron Man comic. And if you're talking about popularity, Iron Man's one of the most popular characters because of the MCU. If you're talking about comics and you don't have Spider-Man and the Hulk, you're crazy. You're dead on arrival. It's so crazy to me. So this tier list turned out to be a giant rant against the Marvel Premiere Collection. I hope you enjoyed it. But I'm gonna stop because I'm getting too out of control. I had to rant about this. I've been hearing it from different people that, you know, the Marvel Premiere Collection, oh, it's not a bad thing. It is. It's bad. It's bad. It was mishandled. It was mismanaged. It seems to be this hodgepodge of random titles that they're adapting. There's a Visions book. You got a Visions book before you got a Spider-Man book. And then when you got a Spider-Man book, you got the Spider-Men. Of all the titles you could have picked, you picked the Spider-Man. That's not bad. I think it's great. But it was so late into your launch. It just recently released. You got a Hulk book. You got Planet Hulk. You know what I'd love? I'd love to see the Immortal Hulk. The whole omnibus. The whole story run adapted in the Marvel Premiere Collection. I'd buy it. I'd buy it instantly. Hell, sell it as a box set. I'd buy the complete box set. I'd display it proudly on the shelf, and I'd read it, and I'd love it. But nope. You've got Jason Aaron, who has an amazing Thor run. I think it was Jason Aaron with the Gore the God Butcher saga. Where is that? Where is that? I'm almost afraid to ask for it because you'd probably give me half the story and then just abandon it. But yeah. So I'm gonna stop ranting. I'm gonna stop ranting. But let me know, did you make it this far? Do you feel how I feel about the Marvel Premiere Collection? If not, let me know why in the comments below. Let me know why you support this format. But if you do, please sound off. Please, let me know that I'm not the only one who feels this way. This was my tier list / rant of the Marvel Premiere Collection, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to catch you around, and if you get a chance, subscribe, like, and leave a comment on the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.